With roll call. Del Martinez.
Rudy Blanco. Ryan Morera.
John Estrella.
So we have quorum. Row, Angelo was on his way, so he's running a bit late. Any word from Esther?
What about Angel?
Yeah, or Angel? So go to item number 3. Any public comments?
I don't have it in the screen.
No. She's done. Adoption of minutes.
I don't think we got them, right?
Yeah, I think the short term.
That's fine. So then I'll just move to table this. Move to table the adoption of the minutes of the special call meeting. I don't have the date. January 9th. Yeah, right, January 9th. I move to table
I'm sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
that. I
I'll note I do have them, but pretty much done honestly, so if you were to go to them, just let me know if you want.
Just a note on the meeting agenda, just to make sure that the minutes don't reflect it. The meeting agenda shows that the date of this meeting is January 16th. Just make sure that
Yeah, I got
if
it.
you're using like the same template or whatever. That shows the correct date.
Yeah, because the meeting was for yesterday, but because of
The holiday, yeah.
All right, so moving on to item number 5, old business. We're obviously getting ready for Big Thursday. Just to review and recap what we did last meeting, marketing. We had a bunch of tasks at hand. You want to start where you're at with them?
So and just to recap, the digital scoreboard at Optimist, that's a go. I sent you the copy of the email from Chris McCall, the president at the Optimist, that said that it's got it, it's a go. It wasn't up there as of 6 p.m. tonight. It was not up. So I'm suspecting more than likely it'll be up tomorrow morning.
How does that work? Is it just scroll through?
It's going to scroll to the right. So it's a digital advertisement. And I purposely was at the stoplight facing the south end, which is where it's visible. And I saw five advertisements. I would say on average, they're about 4 to 7 seconds each. So
Okay.
that's how.
It's just display of
Display,
text.
correct. That's exactly what it is.
Nice.
So that's one. Number 2, obviously, we got the flyers. I was just out with Angel. We're gonna be out there again tomorrow, so we'll kind of do the same thing again, just pepper now the east side of Miami Lakes, because we were on the west side today. And basically just do the same thing. Obviously, try to see as many residents visiting. There he is. And
The man,
Man is in heaven.
the legend.
Where, how are you doing? Where were you going?
west side of Miami Lakes.
Just around.
So we went to Red Oaks Plaza. We went to the plaza where the Chipotle and the Starbucks is.
Oh.
And Burger King.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
we're
Oh, we're not in Burger King.
it's burned, unfortunately.
Café Vitrolas next door.
Say again?
Café Vitrolas right next.
Yes, yeah, they just opened it up.
I recommend you guys to go.
Yeah.
So that was both.
Next Wednesday. man.
So that was both the mobile, the electronic billboard, the mobile billboard, and then also handing out flyers throughout West Miami Lakes. And you said you're gonna do east, you're gonna focus
Yeah,
on.
what if I do, you want to do east tomorrow? No, he said he's gonna do tomorrow morning. He was gonna go.
Well, that thing's gotta be out, that thing's gotta be out all day tomorrow.
Okay.
All day, I mean. And,
Didn't someone say that they were gonna to get the electronic board that's usually like out in the middle of traffic on 150?
I don't, that's the police, that's the one they use for the.
Yeah, but
So
still,
you guys don't want
no,
it
we have to, I don't know what he's talking about.
today, so I don't know if it's up today, but it will definitely be up by tomorrow. He confirmed to me today.
Sergeant will confirm that nobody, you can't even understand it, it doesn't.
Well, I
Like
think
10 of those that
If
work.
one person reads it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More the better.
We'll take it easy.
Sorry, you said the sergeant confirmed today. It'll probably be
That
tomorrow.
updated.
Best
I
thing
don't know if
is
any of you. are-
word of mouth.
Yeah, I'll go there. What else
It's
do we talk
awesome. So
about?
the signs are up, billboards going around, flyers, you're handing out flyers.
What we need copies of? Right there, the Spanish flyer?
No, these are. the
No,
English
but
flyers.
those will be ready for your Thursday event,
Okay, this you can have.
along with this.
Yeah, so we can
Sorry,
we can
just-
keep them here.
Just to confirm, there's, are you talking about, a Spanish flyer or the?
Spanish,
Or the Spanish like info,
John, translated the flyer into Spanish.
Right.
but that's the info flyer, not the event flyer.
Right.
Got it, just, I wanted to differentiate, so what you're referring to is that,
no,
gotcha.
John edited it and then Mother graciously edited the edited, and then I formatted it,
For the
sent it back.
aspects,
that's a little team effort.
Yeah,
so,
I asked Al to send you guys, or send everybody the PDFs of both flyers so that you guys have them. And
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys tomorrow.
wallpaper the stuff with it.
But are we live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay on just on marketing, and you guys are probably gonna mention it, but we're still going with the place card holders, right? Even-
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The
police
card.
department-
It's gonna be. our stock.
Yeah, little fold with
With
the
the
names. On the Florida Rock Industries thing, put in parentheses Vulcan. It's the same
Like
company.
volcano without a no.
It's the same company.
That's
You're
our
the-
goal, site.
okay,
Florida Rock Industries is the parent company and Vulcan is the.
what about?
Yeah, she's gonna make little place cards.
Oh, okay, for each one,
Yeah.
okay.
That's good effect if they don't show.
Oh.
I think that's good effect if they don't show.
Huge, huge.
Of course.
That's what we have cameras on. Right.
Yes, about marketing.
Yeah, so. You had anything on it? Anything else?
Oh, yeah, I guess
let me-
the question being, has the town, created the event
Yes. I saw it.
on Facebook or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta put a note to myself to go find, like, it or share it.
So I asked, mayor's assistant to reach out and try to get a hold of Levine Cava and Renee Garcia to see if they will come and be present. Hopefully that'll be let's see what happens.
So I sent it to the news stations, including CBS, Channel 7, Channel 23, Channel 51. And then I sent it to Tom Fabricio and Nikita. So they're aware of it. The Miramar chair for their BAB. She says, no, I already have it. I was sent because she's on the page of the town.
Mhm.
So that's how she notified me it was good. She's gonna try to have, it's the same date and time as their meeting. So they're trying to reschedule their meeting to have people come. And once that happens, then she's sending it out to her HOA and her area there. She's just north of Revere Isles. The guy that was here, the friend of mine that was here last meeting, he has a lot of contacts, Spanish Lakes, PSN, that area. And has broadcasted it out there. PSN Civic Association is having their meeting right now. But just before the meeting, they broadcast it out to the whole email list, that flyer. I spoke with Christy Fraga, the Raul, mayor.
Yeah.
And she's on a trip on Thursday, flying out in Orlando. So she's gonna be watching online, she said, but she's sending her an aide to the actual meeting. I also sent it to Thomas Acala, which is the aide for Cal. He hasn't replied or anything, and to Eddie Santabastian, I had sent it to him, and Angelo spoke to him afterwards as well.
Avila, state rep. Is there any way you can get them here?
That might be good.
State center.
Yeah, do you have contact with him?
I could get them.
Send him the
I know
flyer.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
We're not in session, are they?
No. Oh, not yet.
They're getting ready, committees.
Um,
We already got
That would be
the.
great if he could show up.
yeah, I also sent it to GRS. They haven't released it yet. Tonight or tomorrow is my meeting for my HOA. I suspect it's gonna be going out. They sent a bunch of notices today.
Yeah, I haven't seen that coming into the direct.
No, and that hasn't, I'm sure there's nothing.
I would say tomorrow the day to try to send things out.
Yeah,
So sending it the day before, obviously tomorrow's the day to send things out. Hopefully we can get people that don't have any plans on Thursday, say, okay, yeah, I don't know what, I'll do that. So, for everybody.
PSN should be, all PSN should be here.
Spanish lake, I was telling him Spanish lake. Lakes on the Green. I had my mail exchange with Commerce meeting last Wednesday. And the coincidence, I was telling him that we had a blast at 2:00, exactly when everybody was there. So I had a lot of people coming from. Some people from BSN, people from Spanish Lakes, if they're gonna go. And they're gonna go and Lakes on the Green.
Is there a way for
The chamber,
the chamber to send out the flyer?
I would love to.
Send it out tomorrow?
I
Ask
think so too.
whoever your marketing guy.
Do it too.
Brandon?
Matthew, Matthew.
the Civic Association, today they're having a huge organizational meeting. I mean, I wish I would have been there, but one of the things that they're bringing into play is a liaison to me. Because I always go to their meetings and give a status report and move on. So they're trying to appoint somebody to work with me for their community alone. Esplanade is also doing the same thing. So I think that's some serious headway.
Have we ever tried to reach anyone from Highway Gardens?
I've reached out to them, but I've never had a response. Well, the Hialeah, which is Eddie Center, down in Aragon, all that area. And he has a huge following and he was sending it out.
The Highway Gardens.
The Hialeah Gardens,
Affected.
yeah, they've never responded. Matter of fact, their emails bounce. And government officials can't have an email bouncing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good marketing.
Like people going hungry and you offer them food and they don't eat.
Yes, sir.
Something's wrong.
But I think it's a pretty impactful for what we've all done. So it's appreciated.
While you guys are on marketing, just so
Yeah.
you know, I just double checked the Facebook. So if any of you guys are on Facebook and want to share it through there, that's always a great way to spread the word. And then on Instagram, it helps our algorithm if you guys share it to your friends. It's currently on our stories right now. So if you guys share it, like
Share it to our
DM it,
story.
direct message it to any of your followers, any of that, that would greatly not only help inform your friends, but helps the algorithm, which helps us reach more people via social.
I posted the event, I shared the event onto the victims page. So, and Miami Lakes residents page also. And now Marilyn's video with Angelo, our star actor and committee.
Far from that road. I was an actor when I used to do paparazzi for photographer for the paparazzi, but not now, no more.
So that's going around.
You're loading the venue, I don't think that there's anything. to
Venue, I think,
discuss.
yeah.
I mean, other than-
The same council meeting, but with two chairs, two people in the tables.
Yep.
A
You
V,
need two or this, you need one and one.
it's four.
Oh, you're right.
So it's a
He
V.
told me she put it on, I don't see that, I don't see nothing.
The what?
Sorry.
Who's-
I wrote the, you saw it?
She had the.
No, the word video.
All right, so the itinerary,
That was fixed, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not on Instagram.
The itinerary,
the itinerary for it seems like the everything's going to plan BSC. That there is no attendees.
yeah, so that
No
was good.
invitees. So that being the case, I think we should cater to that type of scenario.
Yeah.
So last night I actually dreamt of what to say and got up at 6 a.m. and wrote my notes.
So before we get into that, I guess the question becomes, because I remember seeing something, I think it was from Isle, about them not coming or something like that. what happened, that the one that was coming pulled out? Do we know? Did they say
Well,
just as something?
unbeknownst to me, I was pleasantly surprised that the town of Miami Lakes posted it on the event, on their website, of the round table meeting, and that Vulcan will be in attendance. Somehow Vulcan found out, corporate office, and I'm curious to know how they knew of the website and all that. But sent an email to Claricel, remove our name. Why are we there?
That's crazy.
But Vulcan wasn't the one that was coming.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. So Claricel, they said, we want to know what's going on.
I thought you said it was Titan that responded.
Vulcan.
Crazy.
Was the one that had responded saying that they were coming.
Because Walter was the one that was blasting, he said at levels below.
Yeah, so it's
we were gonna-
Titan.
Yeah, it is Titan.
Right.
It was Titan that pulled
Titan
out.
is the one that sent the email.
Pulling out, right?
Is it? Or Vulcan?
Titan America.
Yeah.
They're the ones that were, I'm understanding right, that are below the level that you guys wanted
They're
to
still
pull
operating.
Yeah, that are both.
Both companies are.
Okay.
I thought it was Vulcan that.
Yeah.
All right, well, either way,
Got my receipts.
they wanted to know why their name was there. And so Claricel said, well, set up a phone meeting. And texted or messaged me, and Titan America, you're right. Wayne Adams. And I said, I'm available at any time. I'll make myself available. And Claricel gave her time, and it went through an email back and forth, and the lady said, it responded with, there really isn't a need for a meeting. I want to know, the names, we need to be removed from your website, and we're not going to the thing. So it's a meeting. So it was like a real slack. So I wrote back and I replied to her, please rescind your decision. You, as advised by the state, you and Vulcan and Titan are the only two that are blasting below trigger limits, and you are an asset to the community. You provide jobs, aggregates, everything positive, and you don't bother your neighbors. I want to thank you publicly. Please rescind your decision. No, remove our name. We're not going to the thing. And this gentleman, that doesn't work here. I don't know if they got rid of him or.
Wow.
Like that.
Did you say it was a full moon?
Yeah. So that happened.
So very likely, like you said, or a moment ago, we're looking at a planned C scenario. And then that's when you had a dream.
And so last night, yeah, all men created equal.
It all blocks for
It was interesting. I'm floored by the whole thing. And to know that that's happening, especially that you're being placed in such a good light. So be it. So that being said, I think, I think, you guys tell me, I think we should give a little instruction, if you will, information, inform everybody who, what, where.
Speakers, we are here.
That's why.
And you send it to me because I can't.
Okay.
Please, I look for it.
So everybody knows where we stand, especially as it's being covered and it's obviously being aired, that people are seeing what we're doing. As we're all aware of, and this past week, I was advised, the lobbyists are in Tallahassee this past week, prefacing because of these bills in it, and obviously talking about us again, like we did last time. Remember, we're a bunch of crazies and pitchforks and blah, blah, blah. And as we all aware, John, so you know, quite a number of legislators, I'm assuming they're attorneys and they're training, because it was a coincidence. That they advise us, have you guys sat down with them and just talk? Lay it out. In court, there's a thing called disclosure, where you lay your cards on the table, let's talk. So that's where this is where it led from, we're attempting to do so civilly. So, in my thoughts, just to go over this with you guys quickly, I won't read everything, but just an intro for us. Thanking everyone that's there, intro the minors, and we'll read the card names to empty seats. And then how we're here, and it's what I just said, the lobby in Tallahassee. And what the miners had done to us, trying to discredit us, put us as fanaticals. What these legislators, and I'm assuming they're attorneys because of the commonality of their statements to us. And then I had obtained the contact information for each company, local office and corporate office. A letter was sent out by the mayor through mail, signed by the mayor, inviting them. It was mailed to local and corporate office, and then hand delivered to the local office. I think we should read the letter so that everybody knows what's in that there is nothing harsh or it's just the opposite.
You have it here?
So, yeah. I don't know if you want to read, you want to be the one that reads it. Put emphasis on, we don't want to shut you down.
Right.
Those are the key words in there. And that following that, for lack of response from the mining company, I personally reached out to the two companies that we were advised by the state that blast below trigger limits. Vulcan and Titan. Titan never responded, and Vulcan accepted initially and then rescinded their acceptance and participation. Titan, sorry. I think I have it here. Vulcan responded.
That's if you even want to call it by name. You could just say one of the two initially responded positively and then ultimately pulled out when it's corporate office rescinded.
Should we name names?
Yeah, if I mean, that's up to you.
What do you guys think?
I think that you can, but I think that at the end of the day, those two companies, while maybe misguided while Titan it may be misguided in its corporate decision. Let's be clear, that was a corporate decision, not a localized decision.
Right.
Titan's a huge company.
Yeah,
This mine is just one of many. So, this was a higher up decision that came down and said, no, you're not. I still think that these companies, Vulcan and Titan, can be allies in our future. So maybe naming names is not the best idea. Like in a way of saying like, oh, obviously these are public meetings, but that their viewership is far lower than something like that event.
Right.
I don't necessarily see tarnishing Titan specifically as a good idea or a good strategy.
All right, those two companies and
Yeah, and discussed that they would vote and.
That a
Right.
company, one of the two, and frankly though, I will say this, if someone from the audience, because we're gonna end up in some sort of Q&A at some point.
they're gonna ask who was it?
They may ask, and I would say that we don't hold it back. It is public record after all.
All right, at that point, we'll say, it,
At that
but it
point,
shows that we kept it
Yeah.
private. I also think we should point out, and I don't know if we do it live or just a screenshot, the Miami-Dade Limestone Product Association specifically says on their website, our industry supports over 10,000 Florida jobs and adds $544 million in wages in South Florida workers and businesses. The Miami-Dade Limestone Product Association is committed to an open dialogue in the communities we serve, working with community leaders and addressing the economic environment and quality of life issues that affect us all.
And we invited them.
We invited the association.
We invited
That we
these,
every member of the association,
but we didn't invite the association itself.
not directly.
Probably what we need to do.
Maybe you want to reach out to them,
To who?
I think
the actual association.
The Light Rock.
Hey. All their members.
It's, we
Said
invited
no.
their members, but
So is there a list of the members of the association on the website?
well, yes and no. They have a map that shows the companies. So I guess
That's good
that's-
enough.
Yeah, obviously, like you said.
I'll send you-
It's one of the same.
Um,
I wouldn't use, I was huge, so probably keep it from up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a smaller mine. The association, other guys saying, what are you doing? You can't be on their side.
yeah,
But that for Titan, they're a mess.
so.
Yeah, I think possibly opens them up, because if it's at this meeting, then. Then that becomes public record, then obviously, that could open up, obviously.
Well, they have
other
growing
areas
concerns
where-
in Fort Myers now. too, so.
Yeah.
Where people.
I sent
know
you the
what pretend
email
might
with
place
their-
Now, I'm coming to hours, and so.
So that,
Read the letter.
then it goes into, we read the website, read the letter and the website. and then why we're here. I said, we're not enemies, we are victims. The biggest thing that the Lime Rock, the mining companies put in Tallahassee is that we're basically harassing them and they're doing how good they are, and we're harassing them and preventing them from being good. And in reality, it's the opposite of what's happening. That we have become collateral damage to their profits. And that's not proper. And then what keeps me personally up at night, which I've expressed to you guys as well, is the issue of the science of the bonding, where how this energy wave is destroying our properties. And it's simple physics. And I will share that a new study that is being developed as we speak about Champlain Towers and how the energy wave, similar energy wave, had took down is a component to the destruction of that building. And the report will be shared soon. And I think we should mention about the apartment that's close to home, the apartment building, and how it shows signs of seismic damage on that building. As well as the Hialeah Gardens building and zoning building that has been demolished since.
It's a public building.
It's a public.
That's a public building. Then we can get into what has been accomplished, because, and I will say it, what Alex Pinella stated at the debate, it really set me off. And as far as accomplishments in particular, the Miami-Dade pilot program, and how we need public input, and we need the public to help develop this program. We need the participation to input the data, to create the data. The CFO's office, the Chief Financial Officer, they're going to propose legislation, and if it doesn't go through, then they're going to establish a best policy act through the fire marshal's office and dictate how to do the operations. That's the ultimate intent. And with that, the analysis of that data from the pilot program can be developed into proper regulations. So that's the ultimate goal. Miami-Dade County still has laws that are they're in the books. Look it up, chapter 13, I think it was. That not all, some regulations were transferred to Tallahassee, but not all of them. And the balance still remains in the books in Dade County. Jurisdiction used to be in the local, jurisdiction of control used to be at the local level wherever a mine existed. And it may look into being placed back into its area. There is regulation still in place, but it's not being respected. And I think with that, I'm happy to entertain any question and answers from.
I would also mention in accomplishments, the bringing of a satellite office of DOA down here.
Oh, that's huge.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, because hey, I mean,
That's a
Well,
dog
we-
that police them a little better.
while we're obviously trying to get, that law amended or off the books altogether. In the meantime, we are creating immediate relief by making you not have to fly to Tallahassee.
Right.
Worse, horrible drive.
So what are you guys, thoughts on that?
Is that how you're gonna?
That is the wild
Yeah,
piece.
we're doing this one.
That gives a general.
Are you planning on using any aids or just like try to make it a little bit shorter and
Yeah.
for the last minute?
I think it'd be, it's not an instructional thing like the previous one. This is just a recap. And bring what your questions and,
Do you think it would make sense to like give people like just a brief outline of helping them understand why their house, their homes, as you put here? Do you feel the energy wave at your home, like telling them the why?
we can explain it. Yes, I absolutely do, 100% every chance I get. I don't think that this is the right venue for that.
Well, getting into, since you're asking about that question, this first question was more for Plan B, right?
Yeah.
So that question is probably out. Because they're not showing up. So then the plan C question, the one that he's referring to. You explained it at the last meeting. I don't think that the people need to understand the science of it.
Right, that's-
In terms of why, you could give a very brief thing on, you know.
Energy travels under.
I mean, I would, almost tee it up, not for a part of this presentation, but rather when someone asks a question, you say, oh, by the way, you said you felt a nuclear bomb, it's totally possible that your neighbor didn't. And here's why, the
Right.
energy traveled
Energy
underneath,
travel.
through your house, but underneath theirs or over theirs.
Describe it.
Yeah,
You just a quick thing,
there's a lot, there could be a lot of misconceptions as to the why.
and
Why do I feel this in my house? And I think maybe just giving them a little bit of education on the why.
Yeah, so, and we can refer them, our last meeting is online.
Right.
They can see it. And we can refer them to that. But
Yeah.
as a quick explanation, understand an energy wave is a sine curve. It's undulating. So like if you throw a pebble in the lake, you can see the ripples. You're actually in the top crest of that wave. And the same thing is happening underground in the aquifer. And as that wave travels, it hits our homes. It's a large wave. It's not a quick ripple. It's 3 kilometers long. So it's big enough to go over your house or under your house or your neighbor's house and hit you. And that's what we're seeing.
That's your answer, that's great.
yeah, I think that's the perfect.
Yeah, exactly, that was it.
Yeah, and like I said, you worked that into an answer to a question, but I think that what you said there in terms of a spiel prior to the Q&A, I think that was very solid. Don't forget the purpose of this meeting. Purpose of this meeting isn't as much the education and the awareness. That was the last one.
Right.
This one
But
is,
we had no audience.
I don't
Doesn't
care.
matter,
We
doesn't matter,
have
doesn't
public.
matter.
And people are watching the video.
People are watching the videos and yes, but my point being, there'll be other occasions to educate. This one, if the question comes up, hell yeah, we answer it. But don't lose sight of the purpose of this meeting, is to have a roundtable with the minors who are not going to be showing up. And so the main star of the attraction is to say, is the fact that they are not
They're
there.
not there.
And
That's right.
literally,
That's
I don't mind me being the one to do it, but at the end, I want to sarcastically thank them all for coming.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
want to thank them all for showing how much they care about the community
Yes.
and being willing, I'll quote the language from that website and say how much they're willing to come and have
It's gonna be great.
public dialogue.
The one
I'm
that's
happy to
written
be
by
able to-
Rock Association,
I think-
that's exactly what you gotta read.
As a matter of fact, I'm not happy. I'm calling dibs on being the one that does it.
I think we should get that posted on,
Quoted directly from the site.
Yes.
Website.
According to the
even just the screenshot of their
We
website.
throw it back up there.
The line rock going into some.
Their website. I'll send you.
Yeah, the verbiage that they use, that they coexist, and they work with the public and they,
Websites.
Quality of life,
huh?
quality of
Yeah,
life.
they bring a lot of quality. Can
No.
you bring a halo for them, man?
Okay.
Billy, do you have any halos at home? Halo?
I'm wonder about it.
Okay, just go to home. And then scroll down in the middle of the page where it actually says our community.
Okay.
And it has a map of this area. Which, by the way, that area is identified in the respec study as it's purple.
Yeah, and so literally you can just screenshot that section that says our community. And if you can highlight the last sentence where it starts, the M-DLPA is committed to an open dialogue in the communities we serve, working with community leaders and addressing the economic, environmental, and quality of life issues that affect us all. That's the key
That's key right there.
section there. So you'll bring that up during your spiel, but then I'm gonna then re-quote it, but I won't need the.
No, you have it memorized already.
Oh, no, I will memorize it.
The only thing-
Say it again?
the only thing that you'll be showing on the screen.
Yeah.
I do believe that this is yet another opportunity for us to go through. The process of submitting a complaint.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That's
I mean, especially there's a lot of people there,
Yeah.
then we should do that, because that's the worst complaints. the better.
So how do you tell people to submit complaints?
They grab the flyer. You can, in lieu of typing the, no.
Yeah,
information
yeah.
flyer,
No.
At the bottom, you can have the QR code. And you pick on the complaint form, hit that QR code. It would be nice, can we see that live going? Would that be, is that too much?
To actually like go on the QR code.
Yeah.
And someone's got to stream a device to
Yeah.
there.
You don't have anyone who might be there.
That's
So
fine.
we're very limited on, like, if it's a slideshow, like, I can
Right.
put this on a PowerPoint and put it up, and if you
So
want, I can
I-
put up the QR code really big for anybody to just.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Like that.
That's a good idea. And then, I'm just gonna look into it, my own little pet project privately, I'm gonna buy a domain. That's literally just a forwarding domain, but that's easy to remember, that takes you straight to the complaint, but the one thing I need to know, I could probably buy it for like $1 a year.
That's your complaint. something like that.
Like literally, like ouching my house.
Sure that Adele will be here on Thursday.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go pick her up even if she,
Gotta go pick her up.
oh, I'll pick her
I
up.
felt so bad. She asked me to pick her up. Her car was broken down and in the rush and everything.
Oh, well, the last meeting,
Yeah. And
maybe she made it, still made
She
it.
took over. I felt
Huh?
so bad. She took over.
No, I'll pick her up.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that is a great spiel. Our focus is the fact that there's empty chair. Everything in between is bacon. You know, it's just extra bacon, but the main thing is that, it's the fact that, you know, we're here. Public meeting, we try to have a discussion with you. These, even if they come back and review these meetings where we're planning this, we're talking about the fact that we're not trying to crash them.
Right.
We're trying to come to, you know, amicable.
We're reiterating it.
Yeah, like,
Not over resolution.
within, within meetings, we're not even crashing them. We're repeatedly, you know, qualifying our statements and showing them we don't want to close jobs, we don't want to hurt the industry. We know how important the industry is, and yet they still chose not to show up. And, you know, especially in the case of one particular entity, they specifically chose not to show.
Yeah.
So that's that. I don't think there's anything further to discuss.
CMEX specifically said anything with Miguel Martinez, so we want nothing to do with it.
Well, let's kick it out.
So I'm leaving.
I mean, if they tell me that
It's
you.
my fault.
If
Change
they,
your name, just give them a sign like Prince.
Formerly known as Miguel. Double M.
Get a
I
logo.
mean,
What, John?
if there wasn't.
John, hey man, John, I'm telling you.
If there wasn't a show up, if you're not there, then they kick you out.
I'm out.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Can I have favor?
Good draw. So. I think that's it. Oh, wait, sorry, so. That was still old business, right? Because I see that the round table is also.
I guess
new
I have
business.
a question for the town. Do we have any idea on how many people have registered for those that do actually register?
If anybody's registering on event, I mean, for Eventbrite, we have 9 people registered.
Okay, interesting. What about the Facebook? Does anyone put mark the blowing or whatever? I know that there's overlap sometimes, but.
Yeah.
Did you say 9 or 90?
Nine.
That's enough, right? Even I don't do that.
Yeah.
I ain't signing no way. Once she gets that, I guess my question is, like, what's the difference
You
between
have
like,
26 guests.
26, all right.
On
I'll take that.
Facebook? It's better than last time.
Oh, yeah.
The last time was like 14 or something.
Yeah.
I guess you can. Look at it.
what's the difference between the discussion about the roundtable and old business versus new business? I think it's the same thing. Covered it, right?
No, on the new business, the attendees that we established, it was just.
Oh, okay, got it.
And
Which is-
elected, I think, Angela has hit it on point. You can contact Avila, and you already contacted, Renee Garcia.
I spoke to, Louis Coyasso's wife, what's her name?
Clarissa.
Laricel told me that I had to call the mayor's office, because that has to go through the mayor's.
All right, if not, I think Rudy, can you can reach out. Rudy's the best contact.
To Renee Garcia, me?
Avila, to Renee, Avila, I sent it to Kava, her assistant, Acala, but if you wanna go to Acala as well, and, Braga said they should be watching.
Because Fabricius gonna,
I sent to Fabricio as well.
okay, he'll be here.
What about Myanmar's right? Forgot her name.
Bartleman,
Yes.
I sent, she didn't reply, I sent it to her, but, she's aware of it.
And
I don't know if any, what about inviting the council for Miramar?
yeah, I mean, that's even in town. Should do.
Yeah. So I think
Do you want me to send you one, or do you want it to come? out of
you're
the
in town contact, so.
Okay, but no, there's always option of asking me, so that's why I asked.
I mean, I
What
guess
do you
if
guys-
the mayor could do it in time, if not, then.
Yes, I mean, it's gotta
you
be
guys
tomorrow.
Send it. yeah.
Send an email tonight.
just
So I'll send it, just in case, and I'll
Yeah.
also ask
Yeah, and what about
Just
Rodrigo?
whoever the
The
council.
council, yeah, yeah.
Miramar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, the more people we tell, especially even politicians, the more. people-
Yeah.
Everybody.
If you get the politician, it's a net.
But
network
it's-
there.
Right. Every politician brings a few people. Right.
And they'll go to people.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, like I see the last thing, you have COVID spreads.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
I remember doing a search to see if in fact, that area that was affected in Fort Myers was in fact, what's his name, something Rommel, Bob Rommel. It's not, at least not according to the most recent
Right.
congressional map. It's pretty close, but it's not. I think it would also be a good idea to see who is the elected official for that area. And not necessarily invite them on this short notice, we're not that close. However, maybe once this is over, once this passes, I think the BAB needs to create a press release, which will have that photo of the empty seats with the name tags.
Yeah.
And then a statement, which we will author and approve. And then that press release should literally go to as many elected officials as possible, including Bob Rommel and including the representative and state senator for that district.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very powerful statement.
We have the email list for all of them.
Great, you sent it to everybody, but especially maybe put some emphasis on those from the town or something from the BAB.
How about the Miami Herald? It'd be great if the Herald would put that on.
If you have a contact of it, I don't.
I definitely have the Laker, put it on the page of the Laker. The Laker will be here, can we get the Laker?
The Laker, I think, should,
They're with, but I'll remind them.
Oh.
All right,
I wonder what that happened.
the questions to present, I think, that's it,
Maybe.
yeah, I think we have plenty,
What if, so
if they were.
if someone were to appear, if someone decided to throw a curveball
The cynic in me says to try to catch us like,
off guard, because we've been
Right.
acting here at this in the very meeting, like we're not
Yeah.
expecting anyone to show up, but if they do, I think that we're ready, and in the sense of what I have written down for plan B was. The discussion on the fact that we can be allies, whether or not we can talk to them about their strategies, depending on who it is, obviously.
Right.
If it's White Rock, it's a different discussion than if it's Titan or Vulcan, or CMAX or whoever it is, but. I think that everyone in this advisory board is knowledgeable enough where we can come up with a good, productive question and answer.
Yeah. One or two
The
questions.
whole thing being revolving around the fact that this is more of a discussion rather than accusatory, honey rather than vinegar. That is, as much as we want to scream at them for all the damage and the blasts and all this stuff,
It's not the place.
that's not the time or place to do it. And that's gonna be what will yield the most fruitful discussion. Cause I'm more interested in actually having, in that situation, scientific talk. Whereas if they're not there, I'm not interested in as much scientific talk. If they're there, I want to talk science. I want to talk about, hey, how can you cancel out energy waves? You know, can you do a blast like this and a blast like that, and then they hit each other and cancel each other out?
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk about, what is the most efficient, blast to extraction ratio? You know, where at a certain point, like economies of scale, it's no longer productive. But, at a certain point, a blast is so big, but it's not generating additional.
The fact is, I think that they are maximizing a blast to the fact that they could bring up to without exceeding the limit. They know the science to a science, no pun intended. But in the fact that other companies are doing non-triggable levels, what's the schism between the two companies? Aside from the size and all that, but if these people can do it, then why can't you adopt some sort of, or is it possible, why are you not doing it? Because they're gonna deny it, they're gonna say they can't, I can't. Well, it's being done. So,
The other part that I think we need to be prepared about is, while we're thinking about questions, they may bring up questions. Well, what about the fact that we've been here long? We know the answers,
right,
but they may have their own questions that we need to be prepared to answer. I think that the default should be that the question goes through you, especially if it's science related. There are others that I think many of us here can answer. That being said, I don't think, like if they ask a question like, or they say like, I mean, we've been here longer, you're building your houses by us. We know about these PSN houses and these other houses that have been here for far longer than them. We don't need visual cues. We can talk in generalities. We can talk, I mean, guys, there's entire neighborhoods on Palm Springs North that have existed for a very long time, longer than you, and they're being obliterated by you. So my point being, we don't need visual cues for those. It's just a matter of saying it. And especially if somebody shows up, is they're the end, I'm still gonna thank the ones that didn't show up. I'm gonna thank the ones that did show up, and then I'm gonna sarcastically thank the ones that didn't.
right.
But I'm gonna say to the ones who showed up, I'm gonna say, I really do thank you for having a fruitful conversation with us. And more importantly, I really look forward to a continued dialogue. And to seeing, because there's no way in a single night you can cover all the possible
No,
subjects.
right.
So, hey, like, just to use it as an example. We've been here longer, they say there's houses in PSN, show me the proof. Well, you know what? Let's trade business cards at the end of this, and I'll shoot you an email with a whole list of properties within
Right.
a 2 mile radius that are older than your mom. So things like that. That's again, if someone shows up.
Right. No, the reality is, if that's the case, sir, you're referring to the development that's north of your location.
Mhm.
But east of your location, on the west side of their boundary is your mine, and that location was built in the '50s. Yeah.
Reality doesn't matter.
That's what
Someone
Which is
can't
the-
build, you can't have a house and then someone builds a house and, oh, I was here blasting my music.
If you can quote the federal law for that.
Right. I get it. And we have arguments against. Of
course. No,
Make a difference.
Yeah.
Miguel, Ryan brought something up. Can you have a blast? One going against each other?
I don't see why not. They do it in sound waves. And as a matter of fact, you've seen in the studio, the foam panels,
Yeah.
it's actually trapping the waves and it reflects back and kills itself. That's how the sound attenuation panels work.
If they can blast one way and then right there it
I
kills.
mean, maybe not a blast per se, but something to rebound this thing. What?
Great.
Something.
A barrier wall or
Is there
something.
data to prove that works, that type of blasting works?
Well, I don't know about blasting, but I know energy waves.
Energy wave. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
let's talk about Tallahassee. I'm interested in this.
All right, I spoke to Fabricio.
Yeah.
And very interesting, conversation with him. And, he's telling me, he goes, go to, he specifically mentioned Taylor Sorry, like his name is, Allison Carter and Bob Rommel. That those three, we gotta hit them. Gotta go. We gotta.
We went
speak
to
to
Bob
them.
Rommel.
Right,
Yeah, we did.
do it again.
Do it again.
That apparently Bob Rommel also, I think with the redistricting, he's being affected personally now. So he may have regretted, I don't know. I have the feeling that he may be regretting his. Bob Rommel, Allison Carter, and Taylor, sorry is my better name. His name is
Taylor, how do you spell the last name?
Saroi. And then the next level is, those are priority. Then the next level is hit all the new members. They don't know anything that's going on.
Right.
So they're new to all of this.
The delegation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
There's a lot of new ones, that's why.
Alexis got that like you, is a good friend of mine.
So he says,
Sorry, what was Allison's last name?
Part of,
Carter. The new members, he goes, that we to have lobbyists with us, like we did last one, because if we don't go a lobbyist, you're not getting in the door, period. So I was gonna, let's go through the town.
and it was others.
Yeah,
When he says new members, does he mean all new members or new members within the committees that are?
I think prioritize committee, he said new members, but I think between us, we should prioritize those that are influential. But a new member is a new member.
Well, those in committees that I would prioritize new members that are in the committees that the
Right.
bill is in.
Well, yeah.
And then go to, I
And
think,
then
then go
new
to
members in
day
general.
new members.
They new members.
Day new members in
Yeah.
general, there's a lot of new day members.
Three tiers.
Yeah.
And then go.
And then
General.
knock on doors, we did.
Okay.
That's the way I would look at it.
Yeah,
And the same on the Senate side.
Correct.
I saw something. So right now, Tom submitted his bill. Brian Avila submitted the court, same bill, just on the Senate side.
and Tom was getting people asking him if they could co-sponsor with him. And he didn't give me the names, whatever, but he goes, but I got the impression it's a large volume of people that are requesting, and he was seeing who would be the most effective to get this thing through. So I think that's a huge win on our side, that fact alone. I don't know who is doing it, but if there's before, nobody even wanted to talk to us. Now they're scratching and clawing to get into this. I think that's huge. I think that's huge.
No, this is.
So, yeah, it's the unspoken of accomplishments.
I saw,
My opinion.
But I thought you could have as many, sponsors as you would.
The co-sponsors, I believe you can, but they're limited to 6 bills they could sponsor out.
Each one is limited to 6, got it,
But you can have as many sign on.
got it.
I don't know who he's has.
maybe it's a politics thing, and only trying to get some.
That's true.
people.
Yeah.
Think of people that people are gonna side with.
Right.
You don't wanna get people that don't like, cause the thing that's on there,
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Now, he gave me dates. He said the week of the 22nd, January 22nd. Yeah, next week. And then February 6th. Like in order. Number 1, be there January 22nd that week. Number 2 is February 6th and then February 13th. Because that he recommends, he goes, nobody's around Monday. Fly what we did, fly in Tuesday early morning, spend the day Tuesday, and Wednesday fly back Wednesday night.
And buy the tickets early so we can save money.
Well, we gotta do that yesterday already, if this is gonna happen.
I mean, the session's April, what's the purpose of those committee weeks?
These are the committees, yes. This is what he's recommending. He was flying Tuesday morning and fly back Wednesday night. And big focus on new members.
so 22nd, week of the 22nd is literally this Sunday.
Yeah.
February 6th though skips a week. So February 6th is actually a month away, or, it's 4 weeks minus a day, away. So I think that is doable.
The problem is we gotta go in front of council for approval,
Correct,
and there's no time for that then.
correct.
You only have time for February 13th.
If-
Right.
However,
Unless we go on our own.
You could go on our own and then get approval to be refunded.
no, but
I don't know if they'll refund it, but.
But hang on,
we should
Council
allow-
meets February 7th.
yeah, so, which is what I thought now.
Yeah,
Sooner the better.
for this month, I mean, this.
I'm thinking that February sixth.
No, I can probably shed a little light here on the cost of something like what I'm about to propose, but. Obviously for us, there's no cost, but if one of us or more than one of us was to petition our councilman to call for a special call meeting, does that involve cost of the town? Obviously, I mean, town attorneys being there, town manager being there. Does that have a,
I'm not sure.
you're not sure?
And
I mean, for
I
me,
think,
mean,
I think it's kind of,
Why do you
I
not?
would assume part of what they do.
yeah, it's definitely not a town attorney
Um,
cost. Their contract would includes that type of stuff. The only
That-
cost I can think of would be maybe. the-
Well, here's another question you can ask. Yeah, here's another question for you. What is the notice requirement for a special call meeting?
Florida's sunshine, I believe, is 48 hours.
Okay, 48 hours.
Yeah,
So-
but now, keep in mind, it may be 48 hours, but keep in mind that our town clerk's office closed on weekends and holidays, just something to keep in mind. So really, you should try to do it
Yeah.
in advance.
I think it's more for something to be voted on by the council. I think it might be 5 days. I remember there's something about the
Yeah.
bridge litigation.
You
You can,
Yep.
like,
Bridge
Change that
for you,
from last night.
The council can waive requirements. They do it a lot. I wouldn't call this an emergency. They came up once during the bridge litigation stuff. I would say 5 days, I think.
But if you want, I can get you an answer tomorrow. I'll just like have the conference.
Please do.
Yeah.
They're the ones that deal with council anyway, so they can confirm. Right? They're the ones that said.
What do we need to
meetings
do?
and all that.
What do we need to do?
Because,
But
I mean-
obviously, at that point, that's out of our hands. That has to fall on council. So
but I guess the question that you're asking, that you would be asking them is what the time?
yeah, like what you're saying, they're just confirming that.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think it's 4 months or 4 weeks, so.
No, I
So-
think 5 days.
So
No.
as long as we as a board, because I don't know how that would work, if we as a board would petition the town to issue a special call meeting for this purpose, or if us as individual members of the community would petition our council members for it. I don't know, if it's
Do
something.
they
we
have to
can-
have a public vote on something?
Yes,
like that?
absolutely. That's expenditure of town funds,
Yes.
which obviously, I know that they support and,
They need to.
but they still, regardless,
If we had a budget,
if we had a budget, we could dip into
For
it.
sure.
we could be planning this trip right now, buying some tickets.
I think we need to see, who would be going. We already did numbers last year, so we know who, what, where, and what it cost last year when we went.
Right.
So I would put on the table to start, who's willing to go?
So.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
February 6th.
February 6th, February 13th, I don't know. February 6th. I can-
February 6th, come back when?
I'm gonna make a recommendation. If it's okay with you guys. The hotel room was pretty big, it had 2 big beds to save money. I think that 2 people can stay.
The issue, remember last year we were gonna stay at a nicer hotel and they didn't have enough rooms. We found these cheaper hotels that the room, 2 rooms cost the same as
Same as one.
the other one.
Right, I'm just saying, if
But,
they're as big as the one that we got this time, we could have 2 people in the same room. It's
That room
a,
was comfortable, I thought.
huh?
I like the hotel, I mean, it was comfortable.
It's an oldie goldie, you know?
Yeah.
So just to be clear though, we would leave Monday the 6th at night,
Right,
and then we would return.
or leave Monday the 6th or the red eye.
Right on Tuesday.
Yeah, but I think it's better to leave Monday on the 6th.
I 100% agree. But then we would return Wednesday night or Thursday.
We can return Wednesday night,
Okay. I'm just looking at my.
and so it's 2 nights at the hotel. The same exact thing we did last time.
Okay, I think. How's that on everyone else's schedules? And I guess who can go, who wants to go?
That's my wife's birthday, so.
So you're definitely going.
You may not return.
You'll be,
There's your answer.
That's the week of the February 6th.
6th.
Okay.
I mean, for me, that the next week would be I wouldn't be able to, that would definitely.
But I wanna be clear on something. This time frame, it's not actually committee weeks. Like, are committee hearings happening or,
He told me.
That's what he said.
huh,
That's what he said. The committee weeks are happening.
are happening? Okay, so everyone's there.
Because
Those
this
are
is where you
committees.
wanna go, is what he told me.
To get it on.
Other
committee
committees.
and then it gets on.
No, cause I also like didn't wanna
You
go,
gotta make sure you have-
like, if, for example, he said January 22nd. If it's too early,
Sure.
by the time it gets to being, you know, committee weeks, they forgot about
They
us.
forgot
with-
about us.
Because 17,000 other people have talked to them. So, you know, I think you have to strike the right
Agreed.
time. February 13th is a little later, but I don't know what I don't want us to be too late, definitely.
Right.
When were we there last time?
The other thing he
Last
asked
time was
was,
different.
Last time was different because the session started in January,
So it's on in January.
but the session started in January and they had committee weeks in December.
Right.
So,
the other thing is he's requested a hearing for this bill.
he did.
And if the hearing happens, you got like 24 hours to get there.
But I think that's not,
I don't think it's the whole committee, that's not for the whole committee.
that's not exactly, that's not for the whole committee. That's like for people like you that go and testify.
More technical.
Is there virtual attendance to this testify?
There's, I've been told it's virtual, but I don't know what the requirements are to do
I think
that.
that they're getting rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Probably are.
Have a Zoom meeting,
Unfortunately, sure.
And I also like to request a meeting with the governor. I can get that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be good.
So
Short notice.
for purposes of this meeting, I would say, number one, that we choose proposed date, you know, and that we then choose to petition the town for a special call meeting approving that. Approving of, what was it? 6,000 and change last time?
I was 700 something.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second, I'll double check. But while I'm looking for that. Something to keep in mind. Anytime you guys are going to council, that memo needs to be brought to the committee before you go to council.
No,
Okay.
memo
Like for
over.
you,
So,
anything,
I
a
present,
memo is
we have-
anything added to their agenda already.
we may have an emergency call, special call, prove it.
We can't just.
Because you have to realize that the chair cannot act on behalf of the BAB, so you guys all have to be in agreement of what he's taking,
Right.
reporting to council.
If I vote to authorize him to speak on the.
No.
Like, I mean, we
Done
that.
agree.
The thing is that you can agree on anything right now, but he has to go home and draft it. So that's why
Okay.
you guys are seeing it in advance. It's
We
not
can-
a talk when he
We can
goes.
get
in
4
front.
people together for.
Yeah.
Calling.
Let's do a special call and.
But
And that's just something, it's a good practice for you guys to keep that in mind, in case anything is gonna go, like, that causes a delay, I understand. But So
No,
just
of
keep that in
course.
mind,
Yeah.
so that you're bringing it to these meetings.
So then you'll get a memo together that just says, you know, we're asking the council to approve a not to exceed budget, which we'll discuss right now. And, you know, quickly request that they approve it for the purposes of a trip to Tallahassee on the week that we're about to choose. And then we'll approve it at a special call meeting at sometime probably next week. And then run to council with it.
All right, so how many people, you can make it, you cannot, you cannot, you can,
I can make it.
you can? So it's 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
think I can make it.
5,
Find out.
you got 5 people going then.
I think that, so I'm gonna just go ahead and put the motion on the floor so that you guys can second and discuss. I'll move that we select the weekend of February, or sorry, the week of February 6th. And then that would be for a Monday, February 6th, late night departure or late afternoon departure and a return Wednesday, February 8th at night. That'll give us 2 full days of lobbying the halls.
So we need to get,
That's the motion if you want a second.
all right, I'll second it,
Just for discussion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Well, that was for discussion, but okay,
Oh,
but I guess it's approved. That's when we're doing it.
we need to get Eddie, the lobbyist involved.
You're gonna between him. I don't know who Eddie is.
You don't know the town lobbyist? There's 2 guys. The
Oh,
blonde
the
dude and
ones
Eddie.
the ones that we
They're your last.
that we set you guys up with meetings on, right?
Yes, you know.
So what do you need, just to meet prior to your meeting?
Yeah, I mean,
You specific names.
I don't know who their names are. Eddie, I know Eddie.
It's
William,
Williams.
That's fine.
Which William?
William,
Is that the one you want?
Holanda, yeah.
The one guy is the one that. no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll be.
William,
Well, Rhea.
The town lobby.
Ria.
Town, it doesn't sound obvious. There's only two.
Rhea.
We'll see, but Will works for Eddie.
He works.
Then there's a, right.
That being said, then I'd move, for. Did we get an exact number on how much we spent last time?
Yeah, 6,000.
6,700 something.
Esther and Angel?
$6,103.78.
So,
And it was
last-
7 members.
it was 7 members that went last time. Now we're going for 5. If you
One round.
pull up the memo that was done last year, it specified a per diem per person going, and, what do you call it? Like the not to exceed for the flight, et cetera.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we did it last time. I think we could do the same, or we could just say,
I would just do nothing.
not to exceed of 6,700.
Yeah, we won't go past or past.
In the total thing. That way we can just do it quicker. And frankly, we're not gonna reach that because we are down 2 people.
We shouldn't. I'm just-
And now we're gonna use 1 vehicle instead of 2 vehicles.
Right, the big thing is.
Right.
Vehicle.
That's also correct.
um,
I don't know. this suitcases. 1 big vehicle.
Get the van.
Yeah, the van.
Do you have that?
I'm gonna see if
Readily available?
what the memo is. I think I have it. So this was presented at the January council meeting.
We can
I
talk
have it here.
to-
I'll resend it to you.
we can talk to Ozzy about getting this kind of pricing on presentation material.
Yeah.
Rather than present it the way we did last year.
What do you-
I'd like to see something.
On the move, Bobby?
Yeah, no,
A
no,
little more.
me voló la batería.
Murió?
Se voló la batería. Aplausos, you have it. I have it in my notes. I have a note, what's that?
Yeah,
I need to post
I
it.
think we can discuss that a little bit, like at the next.
Yo con número
meeting, or at the
1.
special call meeting.
Right.
We can discuss that. I don't think we need to discuss that today. unless you
Marilyn
want.
Cubano, por favor. Señor,
Have prepared, I mean, you have the information from last time?
Yeah. It's
It's
gonna be a lot of the same with maybe additional information on the Miami, on updates, the Miami-Dade pilot program, what it's showing, stuff like that flyer. I think this flyer is a, you know,
This is an overall thing.
phenomenal for first page material.
First and second.
But you know, we'll repackage some of the same stuff. But then throw out some of the old stuff that maybe is
Make it-
too much thinner, make it thinner. I think that one of the things that we can do is also, one of us can host, the packet, like, of supporting material. We can host it on one of our Dropboxes or whatever, and just make it a scannable thing, like, hey, if you want the science, here's the science.
Right.
And that way it's not part of our printing costs. We save on printing costs and yet have a better presentation.
I'm not at the drive.
You know, I have no problem doing that, through my firm's, cloud-based prep, so I have no problem doing it.
So you're volunteering for that?
Sure, I just need the actual info, because I mean, I have the physical packet, but I don't have the digital version of it.
Looking,
Does the town have, by any chance, like tablets or something? That it uses? Like maybe
don't
like
think
to sign
so,
people up at
because we
events or
haven't.
something,
One, but it's from building, and when we use it.
It's what?
It's from building.
like the building department,
And I use it on the weekend. So I'm assuming it's within it.
gotcha.
do you want these reports? I mean, what, how?
What is this?
This is the. one we did last week. So showing, you know, address the date.
So I'd move, correct me if this is a correct way of doing things. He's pulling up the packet from last time, all the supporting documents. We'll have to sift through that, but if we make a motion for him and I to coordinate on this, and we
In
have this
terms of
discussion later.
material?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, good.
That's fine.
So I'll move that Miguel and I can discuss the supporting documents materials for the purposes of posting it on a cloud software. Seconded.
All in favor?
I that way we can just discuss it later.
Yeah, these are the receipts and my reimbursables I have here, but not as the whole.
Huh?
I have my own receipts and reimbursables from the trip.
Oh, but I
Right, no, but you had the total amount. I'm talking about the breakdown, so we're,
I have, yeah.
because we did that.
Give me a second and I'll send you something that I.
So I remember, Steve, you had looked up the plane, you said, here are the plane things, and if we had gotten them early, they'd be dirt cheap.
Yeah, I mean, what's it on there?
What did we fly with last time?
Americans.
American.
Actually, not as many.
It's American Eagle, actually.
I just sent you something else.
Well, I'll tell you later. They do show the Apple.
Huh?
What do you do?
I think you're doing.
That's the breakdown of all the line items.
We booked for reimbursement.
it.
But I booked
This
a regular
complicated
ticket.
for us, it's supposed to be complicated.
Yeah, I booked the regular ticket because that's what the. And then on my dime, I upgraded to first class. I was like, I'm not sitting in the back. Those small little planes. I don't fit in a regular plane.
Loaded.
Let alone-
Okay.
This upgrade that he did allows you to bring a suitcase.
Oh, that was
All
fun.
the packets that we bought, the literature.
We just shoved.
I got shoved it in our suitcase.
800 pounds.
Dude, it was so heavy.
Yeah.
That's my carry-on. I had to like lug it over my head. It was so funny. All right, so we have, a date, February 6th to the 8th. We have to move. We need to move on a budget. I think it
Well,
would,
not to exceed budget, we could do what we did last year. I mean, as long as we gotta verify that the plane. The only thing, you have your,
Yeah, I have it open right now. so-
Your magic-
And something to keep in mind that happened last year
Yeah.
is that the demand, you're bringing up the demand, so eventually like third person, fourth, like starts going up.
right,
There's like a few of you that the flags were pretty pricey.
Correct, so.
and
yeah.
driving is out of the question.
hell yeah, no,
Just put it on the table.
Right.
And they're done that.
I would want to. Back in front.
Yes.
Back in
No,
front.
no, no, brother. I've already done that one, that's. I've already done that.
What, by car? Oh. The only problem with flight is if you
Right
get,
now,
if you get a couple,
five-
and if you're
five
possible,
people
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
leaving,
It's cheaper to go to New York or
hang on,
something.
ready? What is it? 5 people?
5 people, I have it leaving Monday.
Monday the 6th.
Monday the 6th, and that's time, it's not that later flight, is that? Let me check.
That way we can go and party early. If we're going.
Salads, guys. We're having salad.
But you just make it only non-stop.
That's only in first class has some.
Now that we're talking about expenses, I'm gonna remind you guys that I don't know if some of you knew this, but we are not allowed to tip. With taxpayer money.
We tip.
But no, I'm letting you know because some of you, when it
Gotcha.
came time for reimbursement,
We can't
you
claim.
had turned in the reimbursement with tip.
Gotcha.
So just keep that in mind.
I did, yeah. I know.
Okay,
So that was paid off.
wow, so the town is really cheap.
That's not right.
You guys.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right?
No, but I get it. So
That's interesting.
We're looking at
I
flights costing at this moment is
You don't tip
$3,045.
sorry, what?
$3,045.
For round trip,
You're cheap.
For fine. It's $600,
3,045.
$600.
That's if I book for 5 right now.
Yeah.
You might, if you book separately, like,
where are you
Maybe it
booking
was-
through?
that's just from Google Flights.
Google
Yeah,
Flights?
it's taking the price from.
609 a piece, you said?
Yeah, no,
That's high, man.
$3,000. That's $3,000.
I don't think I do.
It's very expensive.
It's, I mean, last time.
We can go to Italy on that.
Yeah, last time we had more lead time, so like, I remember,
Check
one
it
of
out.
our, some people was like $300, other people's were.
Yeah.
I think you guys
Like,
also book differently, like somebody left the night before, and we left that.
So that's something also like,
Oh, you're right.
schedule.
Jacksonville, so to Jacksonville.
Then your rental costs are gonna be an issue.
No.
Yeah, that's the only-
With that is timing to get back.
Yes.
I'll check. Yeah,
It comes down to $200.
I mean, it's, so, for example, out of Lauderdale.
But it's maybe a little bit cheaper.
The problem is you gotta get a really late flight.
Do we
back.
go out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami?
So you could look
Miami.
at, for
Miami?
example, flying
Can we go out?
out.
of
They go to Miami.
Sorry, and
Yeah.
to be clear,
Who messes with this?
Schedule
What do we do?
did we leave from Miami or from,
That's right.
This is.
Straight up.
You remember, Angel had never been on a plane.
Right.
Angela brought in a can this big, shaving cream.
They've never been on
It's
the plane.
hilarious. They go through X-ray.
Hey, Joey,
Clean out your back.
The other.
Shake it.
They've
I
never
buy
been
a
on-
Costco. That's a front.
Nobody's never been on a plane.
Angel's there around the
Angel
place?
had never been on a plane.
No.
So
it's sweating?
it was hilarious.
Alright. And then we,
He had the first seat and he had the pilot, the door was open. And he's like, is it okay that the pilot's reading the how-to book? And he's texting everybody, I'm dying.
is
And
that,
Angel's like. I don't know
that
about
opened
it.
the?
I will say, if you wanna save the town money,
Yes,
okay, which I am all for,
yes,
a good way to save the town money
yes.
is you fly out Tuesday morning at 6:20 in the morning, your flight gets here before 8, okay? So you have plenty of time to get your stuff together and go straight to Tallahassee.
Okay.
The red eye.
And, it's not a red eye, but it's
Yeah.
early morning flight.
Sorry.
And then we,
Pink eye.
and then we fly back the same,
That's what I do with the Dell.
Interesting,
this is messing me up.
interesting thing.
That's a killer though, the fly is, I
I don't think
think.
it is.
We have a 4 in the morning.
Personally, okay, look. Give me a second. Here we go. You're talking about, the savings isn't huge. So
So,
the savings is big because then you're spending one less night in the hotel. You're talking, instead of, how much did I say it was?
3,045.
You're saving about $300.
It's just.
No.
picture he said.
But you're also saving $150 per person.
That's really.
So you're gonna save $700.
so, I have, I'm looking here, at, Amex Travel, and I'm seeing here like a 10:35 PM flight, lands at 12:03, which I think is more or less what we did. We landed super late. And that one, the round trip here is coming,
Almost 12, almost 12.
it's coming out here at 2,600.
But for one? or for
That's
five?
for 5.
Okay, that's cheap.
The
So
5
what's- So
traveler,
what's the return?
hang on.
8:30?
So let me select that one. And then the return
And
flight,
what about flying up Sunday night? Does it change anything?
Just see what goes
I'm
up.
not gonna be more
Yeah.
expensive. You're not, you're just, it does not go change.
Guys, I'm happy.
Later.
You're at
Later.
a cost.
So the
It's
ones-
cheaper.
You bring the cart,
It's gotta be hundreds of
you
dollars
bring your cart,
for what?
to fly Sunday
the cart.
because. Anyways.
Fortunately, for the return flight,
Last
everything
It's
is early.
hilarious.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Well, the return flight, you want- you want to do it.
Exactly, everything is early.
There's the 6 o'clock return.
Yes, that I haven't
We
seen.
can filter this and take out, the one.
You go.
No, no,
Okay, so I think you're right, because here, for an 8 PM flight, return flight, it adds $400
Thank you,
to
sir.
the round trip price,
Thank you.
which ends up putting you right back where you are.
There it is.
Good afternoon. Oh. How's it going? All right.
And you wanted to put this on I-75?
Let me ask you a question. Guys, so let me ask you a question. Do we remember what the price of the flights were, give or take, last year?
It was like 360. Yeah.
360 something.
Just sent-
She just sent it? Good. Can you check that? Just-
I think it was like 360, it didn't get to 400. Maybe some of us at the end were 400, I think.
Right. You gotta look at that.
Some of us, 400, if we didn't get the whole
I
5
mean, you
people.
just don't have any options, unfortunately. They're just not there.
Right. Yep.
Um,
From what I see here, it range between 330
Airfare
and
not to
370.
exceed 550.
per person.
Yeah, overnight, well, this is what we budgeted.
That's right.
Overnight accommodation not to exceed $300, cumulative per person, those 2 nights. So 150, meals and incidentals.
Sorry, what?
$300 cumulative per person,
For the 2 nights.
yeah. 'Cause
Got it.
Meals and incidentals not to exceed $50 per person per day. Local travel not to exceed $50 per person per day, and which is why we rented a car, we joined that money. Presentation shield not to exceed $500.
Right.
So that's what I presented to the council.
But
So-
keep in mind, just for like presentations, that was $600,
What was?
the printing.
What we did. last
Printing was
year-
600, okay. We're gonna print a lot less because of
Yeah.
what we just discussed. But I also wanted to print higher quality, so it might actually balance out.
But but like stuff like this, I mean, you're talking about, if we talked with this guy, but maybe it'd be easier. Cause we're not gonna, I don't think we don't take as much as we did.
I agree.
Much less.
If we could print here,
Now, keep in mind that we did that one, but I don't know if we're gonna continue to add quantity, there might be a cost to it.
Mhm.
Because we only have so much, that we allocate for.
but these flyers need this heavy paper. The other stuff doesn't, cause it's just regular.
Is that what you're gonna wanna print for Tallahassee?
Yeah, but so don't,
That's what I'm saying, like, if you need us to print additional to this for your trip,
right,
there will probably be a cost. to it.
Let's
So
do
just
that.
something for you guys to consider.
do you know how many we printed last time? We did a lot, I think it was 100. We handed out a lot.
It was packed.
Woo,
It was
yes.
packed.
I think it was 300 packets.
How much?
So what,
I think it was
200 or 200? Yeah, for 200.
There's not that many.
Yeah, but we spread it. Remember, we.
Oh, no, I
Spread
know, but we handed them out.
Put them in the mouth.
Wow.
We kept a couple, I think. We kept a couple. from home and we got, but
We had
Hold on.
meetings, appointments. After the appointments were over, we had the day left. And we literally went door to door, down the building, knocking on doors, who let us in.
Right.
In the afternoon, we were going into offices and like, wait a second, is this you guys? So the packets that we were handing out of information was being spread amongst legislators in the morning, like having their coffee, hey, do you see this? Right. Here, take a look at this. And when we knock on the door, oh, this is you guys, right? I got a copy of it.
Sorry,
How'd you get a copy?
the 3 main
That's how much
source,
you-
oh no, we also had a per diem, sorry. What was our per diem, do you remember?
That has to be, just so you know, there is an actual, I don't know if it's like Florida thing or a government thing that actually has a breakdown of what this, how much, like, how much are elected officials or any staff, if they were to take, such a trip, what they are.
But I'm just answering, how much did we approve last year?
So I'm just,
It's cheaper this time, like,
How much?
so the hotel we stayed at is like 100 and something, we can even stay at a hotel right in downtown for 134 a night, I think we spent like 155 a night last time,
Yeah.
so hotels.
And then you said it was a 350 cumulative per person,
300.
300 cumulative per
Yeah,
person?
yeah.
I mean, right now, the Sheridan in downtown, so you don't even.
That's
barely
right.
get
You don't
a
even
car,
know that, yeah.
is 134 a night, and that's for 5 rooms, 134 a night. So
So,
total is 1,500.
Must be,
so,
That's odd.
and
Yeah.
then printing,
And it's
because
available.
because we're not showing up in the middle of the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next trip will take more.
the next, yeah.
Um,
And
so
there might be more people up there and, you know.
this one might be a good one to call on, Tony. Like this one, you know.
Remember days too.
So we got 650 per person for air. Sorry, this is just notes that I've been scribbling to me getting ready to make a damn wish so we can get out of here. 650 per person for air, 300 per person cumulative for hotel, 600 for printing,
How much for the hotel?
300 per person cumulative.
So same as before.
Same as before, but the hotels are cheaper, so we're not gonna hit it. 600 for printing, and then do we recall what we requested and received for the per diem?
It's 50.
It
Well,
was
let's do-
50.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, I'm looking at what I read to council.
It was 50 per diem for transportation, and then there was a per diem for food.
Right.
It was 50 and 50?
50 and 50.
50,
So by combining those 50 for all of us, we were able to get the car.
That's 52, that's 5250. plus 600.
I'm gonna open the reimbursement
58.
sheet that I sent you guys, because that's what has a breakdown of
Yeah.
food.
It's 5850.
What, 58
Total.
Total. For the total trip based off that budget. So I would say.
Oh, I haven't even done it.
I would just say, just do.
It's 58, right?
6,500. We're not gonna use it. If we don't use the money, we don't use the money.
Yeah, absolutely. So hang on.
But prices can change tomorrow.
That's right.
Especially airfare, not the rest. Airfare can change 32, can change an hour. Hotels, you're probably okay.
So here, yeah, it's a Florida statute. Breakfast. When travel begins before 6 AM and extends beyond 8 AM, $6. Lunch, when travel begins before noon and extends
Right.
beyond 2 PM, we're at $11.
McDonald's happy.
Not even.
I spent $30 for the three of us.
But I hear you, I get it. It's
When
not-
travel begins before 6 PM and extends beyond 8 PM,
I'm thinking Isle's gonna be treating us.
$19 and per diem or actual lodging. I'll send this to you.
I'm thinking Isle's gonna be treating us for.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
$5
pre-inflation.
million return.
Definitely pre-inflation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'd rather send this to you guys in advance, so you are aware
Yes,
of what you're
yeah.
getting yourself.
We gotta move on this fast here.
What did you say it was?
My total is 5850.
I total 6350.
That's right.
So
But
it's,
you said it was like
so-
6,500.
so here it is. 3250, which is 650 for air times 5. 1500, which is 300 per person, for the hotel. 600 for printing. 500 per person, or sorry, 500, which is $50 per person per day for travel, and another 500, which is 50 per person per day for food. So that gets you all the way to 6350.
Okay, 650.
No, what's killing us is the airfare being so much more expensive.
650 for airfare, 300 for hotel, 500 for.
Printing.
650, 300, 600 for printing, 50 per person per day for
Printing.
transportation, and 50 per person per day for.
Can
food.
printing be cheaper? The last time you guys sent it out to.
I think, but listen, what Steven just said, absolutely, we can make things cheaper, we can make things more cost efficient, but we request this as a not to exceed.
Yeah. And the reality is, we're requesting a bulk number, so we can make adjustments thereafter. But my question is, last year you guys sent it to Kinko's, I think, for the printing?
Yeah, but I think that that was like a last minute.
Right, right,
Yeah.
but my point is, that's more expensive if we print this in-house, you know, can we do it in-house?
Again, I
I
have to
wasn't doing
check,
per day. in the-
because we are only, we really do, I guess there's like an estimate that we give our printer of what we're
Yeah.
gonna use. So if this is gonna exceed, because now it's additional ones, we just have to make them aware, and if there's a cost, I'll let you know.
Well, there's gonna be a cost because,
Yeah, there is gonna be a cost, I just don't know what it is.
Right,
but
right. No,
our printer, our in-house printer is able to do color. And is able to do,
It's a fee.
okay, and it is able to do like spiral bound and stuff like that.
I don't know about all that.
That's why I'm asking, I just wanna know that their abilities. Their abilities, because the one thing I do want is something a little bit more presentable than what we had last year. You know, maybe something like what you get at FedEx Kinko's. I think that you are gonna end up saving because you're not gonna have such a fat packet.
right,
Oh, yeah.
Like we
Like
spent
that.
a lot because FedEx
FedEx.
charges you per page of printing. And it was last minute,
Color, and it's like very expensive.
correct.
so we did something like 10 sheets or something like
Like
that.
we talked to Ozzy can maybe, you know, give us a little discount, and see what we can do there. It's reimbursement after all, right?
We hope.
So that being said, I would move that with the breakdown that we just described, actually, let me phrase the full motion. I move that the BAB, petition the town to call a special call meeting for us as soon as practically possible, for for the purpose of discussing and hopefully approving a budget for a trip to Tallahassee for the purpose of advocating on behalf of blasting related bills. And that the town allocate a budget for this trip not to exceed $6,350, which breaks down into $650 per person for air travel, $300 per person for hotel accommodations, $600 total for printing, $500 per person per day for travel, for incidental travel, and sorry, did I say 500 per person? I'm sorry, 50 per person per day for incidental travel, and 50 per person per day for food. And all of these are not to exceed.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
All
You're,
right, so you're gonna check then for special call?
she said that.
No, she's going, well, you're gonna check to see how quick it can be done.
Yeah, that whole like council thing, that
we-
doesn't come from us, we don't set that, I guess that falls.
No, I know, but you have to
Council
request
needs
that
to make a
from
request.
the.
I cannot request that.
Hey, we need to ask.
You guys can
Council
petition
members
your
to
elected.
request.
Yeah, so what needs to happen is the BAB needs to. I don't know, that was the part that I was unclear on, whether the BAB could petition, or if we, as members of the community, would individually petition our council members and mayor to, you know, as quickly as possible, have that meeting. That's the part I was.
As a
unclear on.
committee, you guys are agreeing that you are gonna go and ask. So
Yeah.
that's fine, I mean, you guys can.
How do we do that?
Whatever of your council members. I don't-
But that's the question I have, since we're,
Presented it to.
guys, hang on, since we're
No,
public,
council meeting.
since we're a public committee, doesn't that kind of breach sunshine if we go and, like, how do
But you
you,
guys are allowed to talk to your elected officials.
we are, but not as a committee.
Yes, because the committee's in agreement of what you're gonna talk.
Oh,
about.
okay.
Yeah, you're not, as long as you're not asking for anything on behalf of BAB that is really just flashing.
It's not other than this, no, we just motioned. Okay.
Okay, sure. I was not sure.
We should just go,
What I'm finding out for you, which I'm sure you're elected officials,
It's-
it's just how long in advance do they?
Yeah, which we already said.
I'm sure they're aware.
yeah, it's probably like 48 hours.
And I'll double check getting into the conference, who deals with them and their schedule.
48 hours for notice, but it's 5 days for getting it on an agenda and all that stuff. That's what it is.
There's going to be action taken.
So-
I don't know.
That's what
There's
we're
going
I
to
mean,
be-
The point being this, that
But because of the,
That's the town that changed the rule,
Right.
the agenda.
but I
But
think it's
this is
2
the
days.
committee.
But I asked specifically on that, are we in violation of sunshine because we don't need to submit the agenda a week in advance. I think it's 2 days or something like that.
We need 3 business, and just over here, 3 business days, and that's just because it needs to be, you need to give staff Monday to process it. That will give us 48 hours in advance that it's posted.
Right.
And like that, we're complying with.
That's my.
brushing up on my town charter here, the mayor can call a special call on his own, right?
That's what I don't know the answer. So I don't deal with anything with council.
I think it's only the mayor, and then 2 or 3 council members can then call for one.
Again, I'm going back to the bridge litigation. I remember there was multiple special calls, and I thought Rodriguez called me, but maybe.
If he did, he would have called them as vice mayor.
I'm sure your council members will try their best if they are going to. do
Yeah, yeah,
anything, they'll do their best, to obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Adhere to what they. So I don't.
Yeah, just understand that it's literally good to bring up.
So the request has to come from us, come from me then. I'm submitting it to whom?
I would submit a request to each
You
individual
can go directly to
council
council.
member.
You guys are allowed to do that.
Do you recall?
And if you want to do a little extra step, you can go to the town clerk's office. I just can't do anything when it comes to
All
council.
right, I'll send a single email, blind copy, everybody.
I would send a separate email to each of them.
And you can,
Avoid sunshine, because then they can't, if they blind.
Yeah.
If he blind copies. then
Blind
it's fine.
copies, that's it.
yeah, your blind copy,
Blind copies.
what you want to
But they-
avoid is them responding
Replying.
where any other
It
one.
becomes a meeting if they reply all.
Right.
No, not.
No,
they
if
can
your
only
blind
see.
copy.
CC everybody.
If you see.
Yeah.
Oh, you blind copy, reply all this and send to everybody else.
Perfect. Do you know off the top of your head what the mayor's office hours are?
I don't think on Saturday.
I thought you knew. Because there was the.
Let me take a picture.
I believe, well, I know he has like open to the public
Right
on
now.
certain Saturdays of the month,
Yeah,
but I don't know when he's returning.
I think it's during the.
I think he was.
Um. Move to adjourn. I mean, I think that we're good on what we need to discuss here in business.
All right, I'm
And
gonna,
he just needs to do it.
just to recap, then, I'm gonna send an email to the council. And the clerk and the city manager.
And may I ask that you also, either blank copy or copy, IO, and if IO could then like send it to us, just so we're informed that the email went out. Right? No, but then you're able to say FYI, this final, this, so we saw like, now we're informed.
Yeah.
'Cause we wanna-
So I'm gonna send an email to the council, including the town manager and the clerk. And our liaison requesting a special call meeting to approve, requesting approval of funds. And a special call meeting to approve those funds. Because this has to get allocated.
I wouldn't confuse them too much, like the special.
I need
meeting,
to
you-
call-
You'll call it and you and I will coordinate that.
Yeah.
What you need from council is, I guess, that special call meeting from elected officials.
Right, but they're not gonna, I'm not gonna give them the breakdown of why I'm calling it. Those numbers right there.
Yeah, they'll see it when we generate the agenda. But right now, you're just requesting a meeting. That
All right,
doesn't mean you have
so
an
that's-
agenda already.
that's my
Yeah.
question.
Okay, here's how I would do your email. As you all know, blasting is our most important legislative issue. This issue has come up in coordination with our elected official, Tom Fabricio and Brian Avila. These bills have just been announced and they are getting ready to be proposed at committee weeks. Our own elected official has informed us that this is the best time to go. So we regret the short notice, but unfortunately, there was no way of getting this to you quicker. For that reason, we are asking for the council, we cannot wait for the council's next regular council meeting. Therefore, on behalf of the BAB, we are asking that the council convene for a special call meeting to approve a budget for the BAB to go to Tallahassee. And that it convene as soon as allowed by law. Like that way they understand, we need this approved yesterday.
Make sure they understand that Tom is telling us this is the time.
You can tell them, I would tell them the date of the proposed trip, so February 6th through the 8th. I wouldn't even say the first.
No,
Right, no,
Right,
yeah.
no,
That's what she just said.
No, but she says,
Yeah.
A quick question before we go. Not that that's our plan, but if it's that important to keep it open. If for some reason they can't get a special call meeting and Tom's telling us this is critical. If you don't know, you might not have the answer, you can email us the answer. Is it possible for us to still move forward and then at a later date get reimbursed from the town?
I will tell you, it's not best practice.
Right, I know, it's not. best practice.
And I don't think we encourage it, but I don't know the definite.
If the
We
town.
go into it with no expectations, but I mean, the hopes that our taxpayers recognize the effort that we put forward on their behalf. And if they deem it, that is something that should be reimbursed, then we'll be reimbursed. And if not, it is still something we did on behalf of our residents and no regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. And I would send that sooner rather than later. Like tomorrow morning
It'll be tonight.
or tonight, even better.
That's it.
Where's our person?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, Rudy, I already put it down, Rudy second.
Second.
All in favor?